Pauline. Good evening, everyone. We'll go ahead and call a special council meeting for August 16, 2010 to order. Just a couple of reminders. We'll start off with reminding you if you have a cell phone or a pager, if you please turn that to the vibrator or the silent mode. We certainly appreciate it. The other requirement is this is a special council meeting at 6 o'clock, and as such, the only thing that the council can consider is actually what is on the agenda. On special council meetings, we cannot add anything to agendas. With that, Amber, you want to do a quick roll call and determination of quorum, please.
Peterson, Weifenbach, Davis, Hadcock, Kroger, Costello,
Here.
Quaker,
Here.
Waugh, Brown, Mason. We have a quorum.
Very good. Thank you, everyone. First thing on the agenda on the special council meeting is actually the presentation of the recommendations from the city's 2012 subcommittee. With that, I'm going to turn this over to Ron Kroger, who is the president of the council and acts as the chairman for the 2012 committee. With that, Mr. Kroger.
Thank you, Mayor. A subcommittee was picked and to review the 2012 projects, and that subcommittee, I guess I'll tell everybody who they were Ron Weifenbach, myself, Deb Hadcock, Aaron Costello, and Bill Waugh. And we met on 2 different occasions to review the 13 projects. And after those 2 meetings, we come to a consensus that, Dave, you want to put up the second slide, please? That the following projects should move forward. We didn't really have any questions, and we felt comfortable with those 7 projects moving forward. We'll let him put those up so everybody can see those. Thank you. Those 7 projects were actually the Horseman Pool. After some discussion, we looked at the possibility of dividing that up and having a leisure pool put up at Horseman Park and a tank pool at Roosevelt Park. That was one of the suggestions that come out of the committee. And of course, there's the Canyon Lake Dam reconstruction, the Main Street Square terminal expansion, economic development, Mount Rushmore Road corridor, and the Youth and Family Services Kitchen renovation. Like I said, the subcommittee believed that these projects should be moved forward, and the thought was that we bring those tonight to get those moving while we, Dave, you want to do the second slide? The other 6 projects that the committee felt that they needed more information, be it an ongoing subsidy or had some questions on the project, was to invite these groups back to another meeting so we could speak to them as a full 2012 committee, the 10 of us, and ask any questions that we might have regarding subsidies or what exactly that project, what was involved in those projects. So the hope tonight is that we as a 2012 committee can recommend approval of the 7 proposed projects that we just put up on the screen here, and then schedule another meeting to, like I said, interview these individuals. And then also there's discussion that some council members have some other projects that never made it through the process, that they would be invited to another meeting so we could review their projects too. So with that, if any of the other subcommittee members would like to make any comments, please feel free to do that. Bill Waugh.
Thank you, Mr. President. One of our discussions during the subcommittee was a contingency fund, and so as we proceed through the 2012 process, I would like each of my fellow councilmen to keep in mind that we should be, or I'm in favor of setting aside some sort of contingency fund, whether it be 10% or 15%, because as we all know, as we go forward with these projects, we have projects that will come in with overruns, and we need to have some sort of fund to be able to fund the overruns. So I'll be pushing for a 10 to 15% contingency fund as we move forward. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Bill. You brought up a good point. If the council decides to fund 2012 with a pay-as-you-go, approximately that gives us around $33 million to work with. And if we go with the 13 projects that have been recommended, that basically takes up that $33 million. So that would not leave a contingency fund. Any other questions or comments from anyone on the committee? If not, could we entertain a motion to approve or to move forward with the 7 projects that are recommended here?
So moved.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to move forward with these 7 projects. Further discussion on that motion? Bonnie Peters.
Thank you. I have some questions about how do you see this Horace Mann location playing out as far as when those decisions will be made, if it's going to be divided or if all of it will stay at Horace Mann?
I think, Bonnie, that's probably a discussion that'll come forward in the future when we move forward. Like the committees had recommended that $4.5 million be spent on Horace Mann Pool, and there was some discussion that there could possibly be, correct me if I'm wrong, subcommittee, but there could possibly be some savings if we move the tank pool down to Roosevelt Park, because some of the infrastructure was already there when we built that project. So that was where that come from. But like I said, I think at a future meeting we'll probably have some more in-depth discussion on that.
Okay, so you feel like if we move it forward, but we can still discuss the location?
That is my feeling. You know, when we schedule another meeting here and we interview these other projects and any other project that might be brought forward by the council, that if someone that's interested in the tank pool not being moved to Roosevelt Park, they could certainly speak at that point in time.
Okay, thank you.
Sam Quaker.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So these 7 projects that are being recommended for approval tonight, as I understand it, they are not does not represent the total funding available for this round of 2012. So what is this? What do these 7 projects represent in terms of percentage of the whole? Do we
A percentage of the whole?
dollars? I mean,
Actually, we didn't look into that. I don't know if Pauline has an answer. Really, these 7 projects, when we looked at them all, basically, when we looked at these, there was no further subsidy that would be required from the city, that type of stuff. They met basically all the guidelines. When you look at the other sheet of the 6 remaining that were not recommended, we had some concerns about subsidies and just had basically some other questions regarding those projects. And the thought from the subcommittee was we want to move this forward as quickly as possible. And I know there's been a lot of people in the community that have questioned where we're at with 2012. So the thought process was if we can get these 7 going, at least those 7 projects know exactly what is up, and the other 6 projects, like I said, we'll have that further discussion and go from there.
I thought it would be important to just make sure that it's clear out of this meeting that these 7 projects are not the total, does not spend 100%. It looks, doing rough math here, it looks like about 2/3 is being spent. Pauline, am I close?
Go ahead, Pauline.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Actually, I don't have the 7 with the dollar amount, so I can't tell you one way or the other. I was trying to write them down, but I wasn't quick enough, so I apologize.
Could we bring that back on the screen
Dave,
for the
could you put
audience and
that
for us?
second slide back up again?
And then if I could also ask, while that's being put up, the subsidy for the Roosevelt swimming pool complex, which I'm a supporter of. I think it's a great facility, but that years ago that did catch the city a bit by surprise. So that there is not an additional subsidy for the field house.
We're not talking the field house. That's one of the six
That's one of
projects. The other six projects
One of the
that
other
we'll
six.
interview, correct. Could you put the other one up, Dave, the one that, there we go.
Okay. So the second list, the list that was actually put up first, but this is actually the correct list. The other list is the ones that are being delayed, which would include Hawthorne, Connector, and the field house
Correct, there was,
aging center.
correct, there was everyone, or I shouldn't say everyone, but there was questions regarding those other six projects. These seven here, the subcommittee felt comfortable with to move those forward, but the other six, they had some questions on those and wanted some answers.
Okay.
Further discussion on the motion to approve those seven projects. Bonnie, did you have another comment?
Yes, sorry. On this leisure pool at the Horseman Park, is it the equivalent to what is already like at Sioux Park or Parkview? It's not downsized or anything since it was going to be added to an Olympic pool?
I'll let Mayor Hanks answer that.
Thank you. The question was posed of Jerry Cole, and the answer is it'll be sized appropriately based upon the population in the area. We don't know exactly what that'll be, but it won't serve an area quite as large as Sioux Park, which serves all of West Rapids. So it may be a little bit smaller as far as the actual pool, but all the facilities will be very, very similar of both Sioux Park and Parkview.
Further comments, Jordan Mason.
Yes, actually, in addition to Alderwoman Peterson's question, I guess I'm questioning with the Horseman pool, that will still be feasible as an Olympic-sized pool to meet the swim meets and the requirements for that. Just thinking of my constituents that are into.
My understanding is the tank pool, whether it's built at Roosevelt Park or up at Horseman, would be a 50-meter pool.
Thank you.
Further comments on the motion? Being none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion carries. Next item on the agenda is what we need to do is set a date to review the remaining six projects and any other ones that council members might want to have come and be interviewed. What is the wish of the committee? Is there a certain date that would work best for everyone? We went on an off Monday from a scheduled council meeting. Would that be a good day to do it? Okay, so if we scheduled the meeting for September 13th at 7 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 6 o'clock? Okay. I guess, could we have a motion? We have. Thank you, Bill. We have a motion to schedule another 2012 meeting to interview the remaining six projects for September 13th at 6 o'clock. Do we have a second on that for discussion? Okay, we have a motion and a second. Further discussion, Aaron Costello.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. One concern that I've heard is with the budget meetings, we have to hammer out the budget here soon also. Perhaps it'd be more important to finish our budget first. If that is the first off Monday and everyone can meet, I'd almost be more inclined to schedule that for a budget meeting, knowing how challenging it is to get everyone together. So,
Mr. Costello brings up a good point.
I yield.
Well, we'll take some further discussion here. Ron Weifenbach.
Thank you, Mr. President. I just wanted to know if we'd established a procedure to revet some of the other projects. Oh, thank you.
Further questions? Sam Quaker.
So right now, the motion is for the 13th. I'd
Correct.
offer a substitute motion to have this meeting on the 27th of September at 6 p.m.
Second.
Okay, we have a substitute motion to hold this meeting on the 27th of September at 6 p.m. Discussion on that motion. What we will do is, whatever date that we do set, we will be contacting all the individuals from the projects that have not been recommended on this first go-around and let them know exactly what the procedure will be for that meeting.
I'd also mention that the council members can call in and add on it.
Right, and as I stated before, the council, if there's council members that have a project they want to bring forward, they can also let us know, and we'll schedule them for that date too. So the motion on the floor is for the 27th at 6 p.m. Further discussion on that motion? Being none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion carries. Item number 3 is to direction to ask staff to draft a resolution. Jason, exactly what do you need here?
All I need is a motion to direct city attorney to prepare the resolution in accordance with the decision that you made on item 1.
And that's for the 7 projects?
That's for the 7 projects, yes.
Okay. Okay, we have a motion and a second to draft that resolution. Further discussion on that motion? Being none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion carries. Okay, we have a motion. Oh, Bill Wah.
I think it'd be appropriate before we adjourn to thank the citizens that sat on all the citizens committees, the chair people. You did an outstanding job. You worked hard. We can tell by looking at as the projects were brought forward. So this council and this 2012 committee thanks you for your support of 2012 and your hard work. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Bill. You spoke for all of us up here. I appreciate that. Okay, we did have a motion to adjourn. Do we have a second? Okay, we have a motion and a second to adjourn. Further discussion? Being none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion carries. You're all welcome to stay until wee hours of the morning and listen to our council meeting. So, thank you for coming.